Good evening, every pony, and allow me to be the first to welcome you to a new segment of the channel where I'll give you my first impressions on an incomplete fanfic. And starting off this new stream of reviews will be The Witching Hour by Chaotic Inc. So let us waste no time and start this thing. Let me just put my little good stuff counter up in the corner over here. And here we go. So our story begins with our main character, Midnight Storm, walking into Ponyville. It becomes apparent quickly that Midnight is not a normal pony due to her being taller than the average pony and having giant dragon-like wings. We soon find out, however, that Midnight is a creature called a Kirin, or a pony-dragon hybrid for those of you without a D&D guide. Now, prior to reading this story, I had no idea what a Kirin was, and I gotta give a lot of credit to the author for making the main character a unique creature that I've never seen before. Midnight is made more interesting, however, thanks to her backstory. We're given a great indication of the kind of pain she's had to endure from a conversation that she has with Twilight, where she reveals how often she's had to move from location to location due to people discovering what she is and hating her for it. And it helps make her appear a lot more relatable and three-dimensional as a result. But an interesting setup isn't much without good writing, and thankfully Midnight is written very well. She has a clear character, being a sarcastic grump, as well as a caring parent, and her dialogue between the main cast of the story is very natural. And better yet, her character develops over the course of the story as she learns to open up more to the ponies, elements which all culminate to make her a very well-written character. The timeline of the story so far has been taking place in tandem with Season 1, and in some chapters it uses certain episodes as backdrops or little mentions against the main events of the story, like Gilda roaring at Fluttershy and Griffin the Brushoff, or Twilight getting stoned in the Stairmaster. The story tries at points to insert Midnight into certain episodes, but I kinda prefer it when she sees an event in the background and goes, that's weird, and then carries on with her day. Helps add a little bit more humor. Celestia also plays a key role in the story, and at one point it seems as though it's going to drive her down the Tyrant Lestia road, which would have led to me hating this story entirely, but thankfully she is kept perfectly in character. So first of all, a point for dodging the Tyrant Lestia bullet, and another for keeping her in her bountiful ruler way of being, by showing that she is a fair ruler that wants harmony all across her land, even explaining why she sent the main six to deal with the dragon in Dragonshy and not a bunch of guards, because she wanted to make peace with the dragon and not drive it out with force. Yes! Thank you for treating this character with a bit of respect. It means so much. Along with Celestia's introduction, we're also introduced to another OC named Sapphire Breeze, who thankfully is also very likable, being upbeat, positive, as well as a caring friend. What I'm most happy about, however, is that Midnight and Sapphire connect as friends instantly. There's no bullshit they have to hate each other first before they become friends shtick. They reveal their similar interests at their first meeting and form a good friendship, and the whole thing is carried out very well. And speaking of their friendship, probably the best thing about The Witching Hour is that it sets aside a lot of time to build on the friendships or other relationships between characters. Things like Midnight's friendship with Sapphire, her friendship with Derpy and Berry Punch, and her relationship with Celestia. They're all written very well and they add a lot of characterization. Characterization which is much needed when writing for Berry and Derpy. These characters aren't just shoved into their usual fandom portrayals either. They're given clear characters with clear personalities, being portrayed as dependable friends and capable mothers. As the story progresses, you'll get to really like these two. Later in the story, we see a new side to Midnight's character which greatly increases her likability, this being her maternal side. Midnight is shown many points throughout the story to be a really great parent. While babysitting Berry and Derpy's foals, the story does a great job of showing this part of her character, by having her show authority over them, helping them with their homework, and playing with them. Again, characterization. Really, really good characterization. The two foals she looks after in question, Dinky and Pinchy, create a game where they tie pillows around themselves and pretend they are knights, very originally calling themselves Pillow Knights. Midnight in turn plays along with their game by pretending that she is a dragon. The entire scene where they play with each other is so damn cute it practically gave me a heart attack, and since I'm a sucker for cutesy stuff, I'm just giving this entire scene a point. Later in the story, we're introduced to another new character who is an orphan filly bat pony, or Thestral, named Squeaky Wings. Squeaky Wings is also freaking adorable, as are the scenes where Midnight is taking care of her, by either keeping her warm or snuggling with her. Seriously, all the scenes that these two share together have made me squee so hard. They're just so cute! Drifting back into technicals for a while, we're given some interesting information on what abilities Kirins have, due to Midnight showing off a pretty badass but admittedly overpowered ability much later in the story, which I won't spoil. It makes the entire species as a whole more interesting and makes you want to find out more about them. So, a point for the world building. Continuing with world building, the story also expands upon the culture of Thestrals, showing us what they did while Princess Luna was sealed away in the moon, as well as showing us how twisted and medieval their race became during this time. I'm really hoping to see more of their culture expanded more upon in the following chapters. And there's all the things I like about this story so far. Now let's quickly replace this counter with the bad stuff counter, and start all over again! So first of all, some chapters, instead of using episodes as events in the background or as jokes, insert Midnight directly into them. And while these chapters have gotten progressively better as the story's gone on, towards the beginning, they're very redundant. Mostly because you're basically just reading the episodes with some extra dialogue thrown in. I'm sorry, man, but if I wanted to watch Dragonshy, I'd watch Dragonshy. As I said before, Barry and Derpy are main characters in the story. And I'll be honest, this is a really selfish reason for giving a downvote, but what I thought was going to happen was that Midnight, Barry, and Derpy were going to have a conversation about rumors that all circulated around them, like Midnight being seen as dangerous because she's part dragon, or Barry being rumored as a drunk, which would have made them all relate to one another and bring them all closer together as friends. And they kinda do, but it's really short and basically glanced over. It just kind of upset me that the opportunity was lost is all. After the introduction of Squeaky Wings, we're given some indication of her past by talking about her father. And when we're finally introduced to him, God, he comes across like an idiot. I get that he's meant to be ultra-conservative and is meant to represent the ideals that the Thestral culture believes in, but by God, he makes himself look like an ass in front of the princesses of Equestria. He's already dug himself a deep hole with what he did to Squeaky Wings, but he practically digs down to Australia with how he behaves when he explains himself, acting with no hint of sympathy or relatability. It really makes him look like a jackass. Let me think. Nope, that's pretty much everything I haven't liked so far. So yeah, I'm really liking this story so far. Go check it out for yourselves. You won't be disappointed. Thank you to the Sklees for pointing this fic out to me, and thank you for watching. I'm EmeraldComet, and I will see you all next time.